I'll patrol the second floor of the east wing.
Okay, then I'll patrol the first floor of the east wing. Let's both be careful. Yeah, call me if anything happens.
Neidhart?
Neidhart, what happened?
His throat slit.
Damn.
Who would do something so terrible? This is a magic circle. Why is it here? I found it in the storage room at the back of the West Wing. Above this room. Fee. Fee, open the door right now. Please answer.
What's going on? Did something happen?
I don't have time to explain now. Help me break down this door. Oh dear. Too late.
This is just like what happened with that mercenary.
You caught me off guard.
Weren't you two on patrol?
Of course we were. Unfortunately, Neidhart, who was patrolling the first floor, also died.
Huh? What happened so far? Tell me in detail.
But first, let me check Fee's body just to be sure. That's what happened from late at night until this morning.
Since the hero was found dead on the first floor, it seems the culprit appeared on the first floor of the East Wing last night.
Yes, I think that's correct.
The hero's cause of death was bleeding to death after his throat was slit.
The method is different from previous attempts. Why didn't they use magic?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't expect the hero to be there.
So they did it the moment they met?
This is just a guess, though.
I think so too. Last night they were patrolling the first floor in an attempt to kill Fee. I think she ran into him there.
And so, as planned, she activated her magic in that warehouse.
This is a very dangerous situation. The culprit is not only well-versed in magic, but also seems to have a background in assassination.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. A single hit from behind. That's what it looked like.
For someone to kill Neidhart, who was on guard so easily, that's not normal.
That's true. There are plenty of ways to defend against magic alone, but it might be impossible to completely defend against a physical attack. If we stay passive like this, we'll be eliminated one by one.
It's impossible to attack without any clues.
No. If a master like Neidhart was killed, it's likely that they entered the area from an unexpected blind spot.
An unexpected blind spot?
That's possible. Maybe there's an escape route somewhere around the first floor that we don't know of.
An escape route, huh? It certainly seems worth checking. Let's go right away. If we investigate as a group, it'll take forever. So let's split up and search.
That sounds good. I'll check the 2 servants' rooms.
Then I'll check the storage room where the body was found.
Okay, I'll check the bathroom. Everyone, please be careful.
Don't say something obvious. Let me know if you find anything.
That goes without saying.
Is there an escape route? Come to think of it, the water in the bathtub is warm. The butler was here last night, so he'd have filled the bathtub with water. So why is it still warm now? A magic stone? Is that why it's still warm? No, I've been distracted by unnecessary things. I should meet up with you two soon. How was it, Fen?
No good. I couldn't find any loopholes.
Me too.
Come over here, you two.
Okay. Did you find anything?
Yes, there's a loophole here.
Really? It just looks like cobblestones.
It's been enchanted with a magic spell that blocks perception. Normally, you'd miss it.
Is this a magic stone?
Yes, here, if we pour magical power into it, the entrance to the escape route should open. All right, are you ready? I'll go first, so could you please stand behind me, Fawn, and back me up?
Yeah, leave it to me.
What should I do?
You stay a little distance from us and follow us. Of course, you'll need to keep an eye on our backs.
Look out, Holmes. We've fallen into a trap.
What's this space? Fen, Aerith, please answer.
It's here. We're inside the cage.
What? Inside here? But I can't see you guys.
I can't see anything. I don't really get it either. I entered this room and was suddenly sucked into this cage.
What can I do?
Apparently, Aerith is trying to hold on tightly to avoid being burned by this light. It won't last long, so can you hurry up and stop this cage?
What can I do to stop it? How do I operate this? There's something written on the side here. AOUKN, and underneath it says 23456. And further below that it says crypt. The letters and numbers are connected by lines. It looks like it's holding something. There's another similar symbol next to it. This one says DAAJB, and below it, it says 20123. The last line is blank. Oh, these blank spaces can be operated, so you can input letters from A to Z. I think the completed symbols I saw first are hint. What kind of pattern is there? Think about it.
Hey, hurry up. Amelia's not going to last any longer.
I know. I found the control panel, so now I just need to figure out how to operate it.